Hey everybody, how you guys doing? This is your main man, Iamrah, coming at you guys with another video, another quick tip, and I'm enjoying myself so much. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself too. I want to thank you all for tuning in. You didn't have to do it, but you did. But I want to come up on some history because I came across some information that I believe everybody should look into, and it's definitely something that people should try to learn from. We often go around learning from people's successes, but do we go around learning from people's failures? Failure is just as important as success, because without failure, you don't grow. It doesn't teach you anything. You don't learn anything, and you can't express those failures when the time comes for you to express yourself when you are successful. So if you definitely believe me on that one, if you can agree with me, like and comment down below that failure is just as important as success, though you definitely want success in the aftermath overall. I'm pretty sure we all can agree to that. But I came across a story on this one. I came across this story on PUSHBLACK. It's a messenger service that gives you the history details of certain individuals, certain time eras, and certain situations and certain circumstances with people and just the general public in general. And I figured I'd run some of this stuff by you guys because this is stuff that we definitely need to look into. There's information that we're not aware of or don't know of, and some of us just don't care. Let's just be completely honest about that. But for those of us who do care, we can actually learn something from this, from our past, apply it to our present, and therefore have a much better future, not just for ourselves, but for generations to come. Once again, if you enjoy what I'm saying, comment down below and share this video with someone else who needs to hear it. Trust me, this channel is not just about financial literacy. It's about spiritual warfare, spiritual intelligence, and of course, economic intelligence, economic warfare, knowing what happens to people outside of our circumference of awareness. And like they say, the more you know, the better. It's like Mama used to always say, I don't care how smart you are, get smarter. They say education is a terrible thing to waste. With that being said, I want to pop into one of these stories that I came up to last month. It was November 28th. At 1:33 p.m. I only know the day because I'm looking at it on my messenger right now, and it's quite amazing. So this is something I figured everyone should want to try and get into and look into, and should definitely want to hear about. But with that being said, we need to start thinking about how things work and where we're going in our lives. So it goes off like this. A guy by the name of Darius had been waiting for what felt like his entire life. Finally, he had been released from prison. Yeah, this guy did prison. I'm pretty sure they're going to tell us exactly what he went to prison for, etc. He'd been saving for years, but as he exited the prison gates, he noticed something was missing. Where the hell was all his money? Apparently, he had a stash of money that had gone missing during his time in prison. So apparently he had been robbed of his cash, his entire life savings. How does that feel to you? What would you do in a situation like that? Some people would act the fool. I'm just throwing that out there. But with our current system, there's certain things that we need to do and certain situations that we need to implicate and take place on. But let's go on with the story. Let's see, where in the world are we? Here we go. After years of working terrible prison jobs, Darius Jackson had saved $100 for when he finally got out. But days before his release, his account was mysteriously emptied down to $30, which meant after years of preparation, Darius was completely screwed. That's gotta suck. I don't care what nobody says. Period. Everyone deserves their hard-earned after a long term being held up. And the fact that most people aren't getting their due diligence after so many years, it's BS. Once again, comment below if you feel the same way. Back in 1974, incarcerated folks like Darius actually had more financial help with re-entering society. In fact, gate money or money provided for necessities upon release used to be equivalent to $1,200 or $1,200 altogether in states like California. Now it's only $200, and in some states it's nothing. How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel to know that in times of distress, specifically in prison life, you could basically come home to nothing after working so long for everything? How does that make you feel? So, with $30 and a bus ticket to his name, Darius could only afford travel back into town and a McDonald's meal. He didn't even have enough left for a nearby re-entry shelter. He heard that how you spend your first 72 hours of freedom predicts whether or not you end up back in the system. He wanted to avoid that fate, but here is where he was and why. Now, that's according to statistics. Okay? If you have a hard time struggling or getting back on your feet in society, you end up back in the system. That lets me know that the system is designed for you to fail. I mean, does that sound right to you? Please answer this question for me. Comment down below. I needs to know. Because a lot of us end up doing things in the moment, not knowing what the repercussions are going to be. Or let's say we know what the repercussions are going to be. They're always worse than what we think they are. And it's mainly because of what? The skin color on our skins. Being black or having any kind of skin pigmentation has always been a ladder climb, a mountain climb. It's always been a challenge for any person of the black community or of any skin pigmentation. I don't care who you are. Black, Hispanic, Jamaican, Trinidadian. I don't care what it is. It's always been an uphill battle. Let's continue. Darius' prison had emptied his account without warning to pay restitution fees. Some other prisons exchanged cash for debit cards, requiring people to released to pay hefty card fees. He just couldn't catch a break. Trying to catch a break? No, there is no catching a break in a country like ours. Black people have to struggle for everything that we have. And I mean everything that we have. Period. There isn't much that you don't struggle for. I'm just throwing that out there. Even the simple things. I think that might be the reason why that most people enjoy the families that they've created. Period. Because in the end, even if it's not for you, what you're doing is for the family that you have created with somebody else, no matter what. Once again, comment down below. Share this video with somebody else who needs to hear it. Because there's not enough of us that understand exactly what goes on behind closed doors. And I know that in certain cases, we're always saying that what happens in closed doors stays behind closed doors. But in this specific case, a man's life, this kind of thing needs to be heard. Because who knows what he was put in there for? Who knows if he was even guilty? Who knows if he was even set up? I'm just throwing that out there. And I'm not saying it's not his fault. But I don't believe it's 100% a man's fault if he gets incarcerated. There's usually some reason for it. Just throwing that out there. Anyway. If prison is supposed to rehabilitate people, and this is what they say, set them up to re-enter society, and this is what the people say, it's failing. The system clearly doesn't care about rehabilitating people. If they did, we wouldn't have so many black people, specifically black men, doing what they do and trying to get away with it or not getting away with it. We have multiple black people of many skin pigmentations, mainly black men specifically, who have a hard time turning around in society. So they kind of just stick to where they are because they feel no one cares. And it's not that no one cares. It's just that most people don't have time to care. Keyword, we don't have time to care. If we had time to care, the world will be a much better place. But for those of us who believe that people on the outside of prison don't care about the people who are inside prison, it's because we have so many things that society has thrown at us and it's hard to even catch a break. Just like they say, it's hard to catch a break whether you're in prison or not. It wanted us to get locked right back up from the very start. Do you believe this? I'm sure you do. Now, I think it's quite amazing. How a situation like this most definitely can teach every single one of us exactly what we have going for us when it comes to, our own history and what we have, what we're fighting for. I want to know your comments on this. What do you think? Was it fair of what this man Darius went through? Hasn't anybody else went through this exact same thing? How many other cases has there been like this? Comment down below, subscribe. I need to know. And please share this and try to get as many comments and as many views and as many opinions on it as you can. You guys have a beautiful day and a beautiful night, depending on when you're seeing this. Love, peace, namaste.